Hello, everyone. This is Igual. Today I want to talk about a topic that I don't think a whole lot of people are talking about, but I think it's important to know. Um, there's um, there's the process of building muscle or growing a certain amount of muscle in the first place, and then there's a status of where you maintain the amount of muscle that you have, and then there's also a scenario where you what's called muscle memory, which is you used to have a certain amount of muscle, and then let's say you're out of the gym for a while, you're inactive for a couple years or something, and you lose a certain amount of muscle. Muscle memory is referring to gaining muscle back that's already been there, the rate that you can gain it back. I want to talk about these three different statuses and what it takes uh, to reach each of these statuses, like as far as time and specifics. Um, Okay, so building muscle, that is the most lengthy process and the most process that requires the most work of all. To build muscle in the first place, um, you gotta push yourself hard, and you gotta be consistent over a relatively long period of time. You gotta be consistent. You gotta push to your limits, pretty much. And over the course of a period of time, you build a certain amount of muscle slowly, day by day by day. Now, um, once you have built a certain amount of muscle, which takes a lot of time and effort, once you have gotten a specific amount of muscle, you can either continue to build it or, depending on what your goals are in life, maybe you're a certain age and you just want to hang on to what you got, or maybe you're not trying to get super big. If you reach a status in life where you're just trying to maintain what you have and not lose muscle, the amount of time and effort and energy required to maintain muscle is much less than the amount of time and effort required to build the muscle in the first place. So, for example, someone's been working out for 10 years and they've put on, let's say, 20 pounds of extra muscle over those 10 years. You want to maintain that amount of muscle. What might have taken you 10 years working out 3 to 5 times a week intensely to get to that point, just to keep or maintain that muscle, you don't got to keep going 4 or 5 times a week intensely. Just to keep it and not lose it, you got to put in like half of the time and effort that it took to get there. You're just preventing your muscles from slowly, I forget the hypertrophy, which is the process in which over time and lack of physical activity, your muscles are slowly diminished year by year as you get older. So you can, for example, twice a week for 30 minutes a day, you can hang on to the amount of muscle that you have that you may have spent 10 years building 4 or 5 times a week in the gym, an hour, hour and a half. It might only take you twice a week, 30, 40 minutes each workout. So it's way, way easier to maintain what you got than to build it in the first place. Now, there's a third situation that's called muscle memory. Now, in muscle memory, I'm not a scientist or biologist, so my words don't sound perfect, but I'll try to get my point across. Muscle memory is once you've had a certain amount of muscularity and or strength in the past, once you have had it, the amount of time and effort required to gain it again is way, way, way quicker than the amount of time and effort it took to get it in the first place. For example, same scenario. You've added on 20 pounds of muscle over the course of 10 years. Let's say you have a major injury and you're laid up for 6, 8 months. You do nothing physical, you lose those 20 pounds plus 10 more pounds of muscle. So you're worse off than you was before you ever started lifting. Once you start going back to the gym, you can be back in the gym maybe 3, 4 months consistent and pushing and determined. Maybe 3 or 4 months, and all that muscle that took you 10 years to gain maybe 4 months back into the gym, all that muscle will come back if it was there before. The muscle fibers, there's a lot of scientific mumbo jumbo to it, which I don't want to get into for the average layman. But the muscles remember being a certain level before, and they go back to it in simple terms. Um, it has happened to me personally. I was out with an autoimmune disorder, and I shriveled down to 132 pounds. Within about 4 to 6 months of being back in the gym, I had gained all my muscle back and was to the strength that I had been in the past, which had taken me a few years to get to. And the illness that I had, basically in some of my videos, you see a big old cut here. My spleen was removed. I was given chemotherapy. My back was rotated out of shape. So I was all kinds of messed up. I was in worse condition than an 80-year-old man who was in poor health. Within 4 or 5 months, I was back to my same strength. So the point I'm making is muscle memory is a powerful thing. What takes you years and years and countless hours of effort to get in the first place comes back 10 times faster due to muscle memory. So that's a few things to keep in mind is, let's say you reach an age where you no longer want to keep getting stronger, stronger, stronger. Let's say you become 45, 50, your passion, your intensity to keep growing more and more muscle isn't quite to that level. You can go in once or twice every week and hang on to what you got. If you want to get to that level in the first place, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but you enjoy the time and the effort and the process, and you enjoy the journey every day to get to where you are. So I'm not going to go on and on and on, but that's a little bit of info. Hopefully it helps some people out there. This is Eagle Owl. Hit the subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. If you decide in the future to unsubscribe, it takes 2 seconds to push the button. Thanks for watching. Stay motivated.